on, babies.
All right, first question. Are you starting to believe the NFL is rigged?
Yes, I am.
The calls the Chiefs get are getting out of control. At any point that the Texans got a foothold in that game, the refs put an immediate stop to it.
Mm-hmm. You guys make fun of me all the time because of wrestling, but you're looking at it right now every Sunday until February.
It's not rigged to that extent. Explain to me how it's rigged to that extent, right? Do they give the guys is this a who was the running back for Houston where they said that they got the script in his locker?
Joe Mixon?
No.
Arian Foster?
Arian Foster. They have that? They write it down on a script sheet for The Rock. Go, here you go. You're going to lose to Triple H tonight, and here's your season. That's what
you fucking dweeb. How many wrestlers do you know? You've seen it.
He tries to talk like I'm a nerd and like I'm the only one, but he knows.
The all professional sports is fixed because of Las Vegas, and the legalization of gambling is going to ruin. It's going to be the end of professional sports as we know it. But there's still too many people involved for it to be a full blown conspiracy. The Celtics are dumb front-running pussies. This is the same team they have been for 4 years running.
Well, my worst nightmare came true. Missoula and Mayo are friends. What the fuck? Apparently they've known each other since Virginia. They have these docking sessions where they talk about ball and managing people.
Vacation. I'm gonna quay all these. I'm gonna fucking watch them this week.
Do you say quay?
Is it not quay?
It's Q. It's Q. It's Q-U-E. You idiot. There's still too many people involved for it to be a full-blown conspiracy. Could they get to a couple guys? Maybe. There are a couple refs. Obviously,
you need to get to the refs to slant a result.
Obviously, but when you are the best team and the best player in any sport, you're going to get favorable calls. That's what's happening for the Chiefs. There is some damning evidence that maybe some refs are on the up, not on the up and up. That the do-over play, which keeps popping up, where the Chiefs got 2 chances against the Cincinnati Bengals. That one feels fishy. This last week, where Mahomes gets the calls, Brady got the calls. Pat's got the calls. When you're good and when you're that good, Manning got calls. When you're that good, you get calls. So it's swayed, yes, but it's not a full-blown WWE script.
Very corporate shill answer. Will Ben Johnson finally turn the Bears into a contender?
Nope. The Bears will always be
absolutely
losers.
Not. No, he's going to crash and burn.
Yep.
Yeah. He's fucked.
Yeah, but he's going to have $13 million a year. So
kind of looked like a goof during his opening press conference. Didn't he make fun of another coach?
He made fun of the Green Bay Packers coach.
Yeah.
I was not very high on Ben Johnson even coming to the Patriots. I don't think I push back on that whole let's just get the hottest guy from the hottest offense. I don't think that it has the success rate people think it has.
Well, look at the Dolphins.
World could obviously use more hot guys. How much of a chance do you give the Commanders versus the Eagles?
Good chance.
I think it's a 50-50 game. He's the best player on the field.
It's the third time they're playing each other this year. I mean, anything can happen. I think they're going to know each other. It's going to be a low-scoring game, 6.5. First spread's way too high, I think. I think it's going to be closer to a field goal game.
I think, if anything, to go back to question 1, the NFL will put a stop to it because I don't know if they want the Commanders in the Super Bowl. I think they're going to want an Eagles matchup just for everyone's national television sake. So I think I think you might see the refs be like, "Hold on here, folks. That's not what it says on this paper here."
Yeah. Okay, let's watch that with a close eye. I'm not diving into the conspiracy theory. Some things just are how they are. I give the Commanders a very, very high chance. I think the Eagles have been flirting a dangerous line all season long. They're relying on a running back, which can only get you so far in modern day NFL. If the ball needs to go in Jalen Hurts' hands to throw the ball, 40 times for a win. They will lose. And Jaden Daniels will win. I think that kid's legit. And Commanders are on a heater right now. I'll take them. I'll take them outright. I think they're going to win.
Speaking of more gambling, here's some odds. Over or under 10 times Raymond has sex in 2025.
I'm going to go.
I'm at 3 for the year, by the way. I am at 3.
Good for you.
Strong chance I get to 4 this weekend.
Is there an opportunity for a push? 10 seems like
of course you could push 10. Yeah, if you think he lands on 10,
that's where it kind of rounds out. I think
he's already behind the 8 ball. Well, I guess he could still be on. I mean, if you're at
news alert, Robert. News alert.
Yeah.
I'm at 2.
Yes. Good for you, Raymond. You had a strong week.
Thank you.
Yeah,
that's Is it the promotion? Was it the promotion?
I brought the golden plunger home. Just saying.
Does it still smell like your mother's ass?
Fine.
All right, never mind. With that news, I go the over.
Yeah,
I thought he was at 0.
I think over's right. The thing with Papa Ray is he goes in real heavy spurts.
I'm like a rabbit.
And then it's a real dry spell. He probably just does something stupid, and
last
she gets
week
mad at
he was
him.
very low, which is why I brought this question in.
Yeah, look at him. He's all chirpy now. He doesn't feel like he has to say a whole lot. He's feeling good.
He's good.
He's probably
was one of them today?
Nope. It was the Sunday, and then 2 nights ago. I might go for 3. I might go for 3 tonight.
Go for it.
Good.
What's the worst that could happen?
Nothing.
No? Fuck it.
Yeah. Well, you're not gonna say no to me, bitch.
Good for you. Happy to hear that, Raymond.
Thank you.
Will the Lions decline with the losses of all their coaching brain trust here?
Yep. We're going to see the 90s Lions all over again.
Yeah, windows closed.
The Lions should also Jared Goff immediately. That guy blows. They need to get rid of him. They have a good team, and he's not good enough.
They just need to draft a guy. I mean, he's a good quarterback. He's probably not going to give him over the top. And now they've lost, their strength of their team and their offensive coordinator. And they need to start drafting quarterbacks, but their window's closed. I mean, they can hang on for a little bit, but I don't know what they're going to do to get over it. This is another team that never can make the Super Bowl, like ever. This is what life is. The Detroit Lions don't make the Super Bowl. The Bills don't win it. This is what has to stay true. The Cubs fucked it up, and selfishly, honestly, the Red Sox fucked it up when they won, and it's not as fun anymore. Don't do it, Lions. Don't do it, Bills. Don't win. It's not fun.
Know your role. What can these crappy NFL teams do to make their job more attractive?
Hookers, cocaine.
Las Vegas has that in spades, and they can't hire anybody.
But they also have ladyboys over there, and it's probably frightening a lot of those guys away.
Yeah, that's true. That's difficult to combat.
Bad ownership is bad ownership, and that's why teams like the Browns are horrible forever. It's why a team like the Bengals, even though they have a top six guy in Joe Burrow, can't get out of their own way. Can you stop fucking with your mic, Raymond? It's because don't give me in the hands as I see you futzing in on your desk and pop. Mute it or something. Drive me insane. It's the ownership. You can't get rid of bad ownership. They own the team. Cereal Bowl haircut there in Las Vegas is going to own the team for another 25 years, and they're going to suck for another 25 years. The guy in Jacksonville is doing his best not to suck. He's dumping money into it. But he made the bad call this year trying to keep his GM and hire coaches. Coaches went into there and denied that job 2 or 3 times. The offensive coordinator from the Bucs and somebody else.
Yep.
Belichick would even
that Bucs guy is now talking to him again because then they went ahead and shit canned the GM.
Right. So maybe that owner, Shad Khan, is that his name? Maybe he will start to get it. He's a new owner, so maybe he's learning, but at least he's trying. But guys like Vegas and the Browns and the Bengals who are just cheap and don't give a fuck. Jets, the meddling. No, you can't get past it. They will always suck.
It is the owners. Agreed. What will the Vikings do at QB this season, off season?
Nothing. They have JJ McCarthy ready to go.
What will they do? That? They're just going to roll in. They should just sign Sam Darnold to another cheap $10 million deal and run the whole thing back.
Nope, he'll get more than $10 million on the market, but just franchise him for 34 and run
there
it
you
back.
Go. True.
That's too much. No, I think it's JJ's job. I think JJ's ready to go.
What is
make him earn it? He hasn't earned shit yet.
$34 million is a lot of money. It was
no, it's not.
Okay.
What is 34 million?
Not
So
for
what?
an NFL team that wants to win games. You got to have that's the most important position.
It's the going rate for a quarterback. He was an MVP candidate. What do you? He's going to go get a job that's going to pay him more than that. More than.
Are you saying franchise him and then
more than good backup money,
and then trade him?
No, it's JJ McCarthy hasn't done shit. You don't know if he's going to be good. You can't take a team that is on the precipice of a Super Bowl and just throw it away with a quarterback who has a bad knee who hasn't proven shit. Pay Sam Darnold $34 million for 1 year. It's fake money, half of it anyway, and run it back and see if and then try to develop JJ McCarthy for next year. And if that doesn't work, franchise him fucking Darnold again. You can do it 2 years in a row. Keep it going. Tom Brady's and Patrick Mahomes don't come around every day. Sam Darnold was a top 5 quarterback this year. You don't get much better than him. I know he shit his pants at the end, but maybe you just need some experience or learn to take the ball out of his hands or something. You can't just throw that away for what? $15 more million than you think he's worth?
It's just if the only thing you have to give is money, it's no brainer.
Yeah.
Is Jimmy Butler everything that's good and bad about the current state of the NBA?
This is the LeBron NBA right here. This is like it personified. Like he wants to go win a championship. He doesn't want to be in Miami because he knows his time's run out there. So now he wants to go ring chasing in Phoenix. And now it's going to be like a 5-team trade just to make this all happen. Yeah, Jimmy Butler is exactly what's wrong with the NBA.
He's an awesome player and he's a cool guy to root for, but he does this every team. He gets to the team and then like year 2.5, he's great and they have a run. And then after that run, he just slowly deteriorates and blames everybody else around him. Yeah, classic self-destructive behavior.
Player entitlement, Ray's right. LeBron NBA player entitlement at its peak, which I think is going down now. In large part due to the NBA and the rules that they've put in place and the contracts and stuff that they have. But I also think this new generation has a different mentality. It's a bigger conversation for another day, but lost a lot of respect for the way Jimmy Butler handled this Miami. This is the worst that he's done this from every team that he's been on, and he's done it on every single team. This is the worst. The way that the callous behavior that he would show up and not play, and good for Miami. Pat Riley is the perfect guy to handle it. It's like, you want to do this? Fuck you. I'll tank this fucking season. I will suspend you. I'll take your money and I'll trade you to goddamn Portland, you jackass. He won't go somewhere good. I bet you he won't.
No.
Pat Riley's full of spite.
They're trying to facilitate him going to Phoenix so they can get Bradley Beal back.
Well, that's a bad day. You don't want Bradley Beal. Go get a first round.
He is about equally as cunty as Jimmy Butler.
You think Jimmy Butler's dad's really upset with how things are going and how he didn't stay with one team like his father did?
Michael Jordan?
Yep.
I think Jimmy Butler's dad is still as disappointed in Jimmy Butler as he ever was, which is why he left that little shit. Will the Rams fall apart if Matthew Stafford retires?
Yep.
No.
You think they'll be able to find a new quarterback and just kind of keep on trucking?
They have a good coach. They have probably the best coach in the league. They have a system in place. They know how to get talent. They know how to pay talent. It's a good program. They'll take steps back. Matthew Stafford's a good quarterback. But I think McVay went to the Super Bowl with Jared Goff. So, yeah, I think he can probably identify talent, build it, develop it, and win with it.
Isn't there a rumor going around, though, that when Stafford retires, McVay's going into broadcasting because he's done in LA?
That would be stupid. He should just demand more money or be released from his contract and go coach someplace with a good quarterback.
You want him to Jimmy Butler it? McVay
talking out both sides your mouth.
McVay threatened to retire a couple years ago, and then he basically came back and said, I can't. I love it too much. I think he might. I mean, I don't know.
You might love it a lot now, but once you don't make those playoff runs and you're like at the bottom of the NFC West and picking in the top 5, how much are you going to love it
Being an announcer seemed boring as fuck. Why would you want to do that? Just go do something else. Like, if you don't want to be a coach, he could find in some other front office job or something else in football where he gets paid money, but actually gets juice from it instead of going there talking about it's like doing that.
Yeah, it's boring. It's a lot more time in your hands. You get paid almost the same amount of money, but probably more money. The Rams have an awesome model. They didn't go to the bottom. They had a one poor season when Stafford got hurt, but beyond that, when their talent depleted, they just went and bought a shit ton of talent with draft picks and money, And then for 1 year of draft picks, they didn't have draft picks. And then the next year, look, all their draft picks are back. And you're picking at 22 instead of 12. Who
And
gives
it's
a
weird.
shit?
They seem to get good players from every draft pick every fucking year.
Yeah, wouldn't you know it when you actually have a
That'd be cool if
stationary
we could do
program
that.
in place and good people running it? You actually have success.
Assholes. Are donuts with filling actually donuts?
No, a donut has this hole in the middle, the jelly filled, which I don't like, or the cream filled, which Rich's mother loves. I just don't think that's a real donut.
It seems like it's more of a pastry than a donut. A
Mhm.
donut seems to be a lighter thing, sugary, not filled with a filling. That's just a different item to me. It doesn't feel like a donut.
Yeah, it's a diabetes cake. It's not a donut. All right, there you go. Quick break. We'll talk some Celtics. And, man, we got a lot to get to here. All right, quick break. We'll talk some Celtics. Okay, the Celtics are front-running pussies, and it's all Joe Mazzulla's fault. Told you that years ago, and it's coming true yet again. The latest from the Celtics, they outlasted the Clippers on Wednesday, 117 to 113 in overtime after blowing a 6-point lead in regulation. What's a Springer? Jaden Springer is getting heralded as, the great savior in that game for his steals and his defensive presence. They went on to win the 31-13. They still don't look right. I go back to, I haven't watched a ton of Celtics basketball front end lately, but I did watch that Hawks game. And the end of that Hawks game in regulation, they lost in overtime. But the end of the regulation, there's 12 seconds left or so. They're up by 3. They get the ball in. They get it to Drew Holiday at their end of the court, underneath the basket, wide open. Hawks were playing pressed first steals, 12 seconds in the game. They're down by 3. Drew Holiday, instead of just dunking the ball to go up by 5 with 10 seconds, dribbles it around and then ends up throwing it out of bounds, giving the Hawks the ball. From there, it was a slew of mental and stupid errors and inability to execute from Drew Holiday to Tatum. Quinta blew a defensive assignment. It was just a shit show. But that play, that Drew Holiday not dunking the ball, that's Joe Mazzulla and modern NBA and just in your own head about your own stupid analytics. And there's 12 seconds, not 10 seconds. If it's under 10 seconds, then go up by 5. If it's over 10 seconds, dribble the ball out. Playing with your wiener and the clock at the same time instead of just go up by 2 fucking possessions with a dunk and make them score the basketball. It's a very simple game.
Play defense.
Stop the other team from scoring the basketball. That's what you should be focusing on. And look, and you have said it, Bobby, and we've been on, on your coattails a little bit, except they won, right? So the Mazzulla ball worked. They won outright. I mean, nobody gave them a fight. They dominated last year. And this year, they're not. And we're right back to every time they're put into a position to close late and execute late, more often than not, it feels like they're not doing it and they're coming up short, or they're making really stupid errors, or Jason Tatum's missing a free throw with 7 seconds to go up 3. Same shit that we saw every year except for last year when they won the championship, when they were dialed in. So
their buttholes pucker up when they get into the fourth. You know how Isaiah Thomas was the king of the fourth? Well, this Celtics team is their butthole gets puckered up in the fourth. That's how they are. They just don't know what they're doing. They fucking play sloppy ass basketball. It seems like Joe Mazzulla doesn't run any offense. He just says,
seems like.
I'm sorry, Bobby. He doesn't know how to run any kind of offense. You're welcome. Their defense efficiency, I think, is ranked like 26th in the final 4 minutes of a fourth quarter. So yeah, something definitely happens in the fourth, and they just fucking lose everything.
Yeah, Richard, you hit on a key point in the email there, which I really liked about their lack of roster turnover and how it kind of affects into it. I think if you have a coach that doesn't affect any sort of actual change or do anything and is just going to the same message every day, you're going to need a turnover in the roster so that these new players can have that buy-in, because he's not providing a new message to these guys and they're just tuning them out. I mean, they're not bringing the same energy. That's clear.
No, and there is a boredom to it. There is an offense. It's a 5-out offense, and the idea is to drive and kick and get 3-pointers, and it's more of a philosophy than an actual offense. And it's really all of the NBA. It's kind of like baseball. The analysts have taken over, and threes are better than twos, and that's what you should be doing. The Celtics score 50% of their points by 3-pointers. The other teams in that category are the Bulls, the Hornets, I think the Warriors, and there might be some other crapbag team. That's not a good category to be in. That's not the top echelon NBA teams. And I'm starting to come to this conclusion, this take of this idea of why it's happening in the fourth quarter when you have guys that are as talented as Tatum and Brown. And the easy thing to say is, well, they pucker up and they have tight assholes and they don't know how to finish. But I don't know. I don't. Can we blame Mazzulla for this? Can we say in our heyday of the NBA in the fourth quarter, they would run a set, what used to be called a set, and get Kobe Bryant in a spot where he knew what to do with the basketball, not 35 feet from the lane and have 3 guys rushing at you and have to kick it out and pass it 3 more times to get an open shot. Run a set, get somebody on the block to make a basket. That's what you should do, and the modern NBA just doesn't allow for it.
And they had defined roles as to who was going to do what in certain situations. And it was discussed ahead of time. They don't have that either. Everybody's equal. Everybody's the same. And they talk about their feelings and kumbaya. Bunch of queers.
The roster turnover as a blog I wrote on SimpliMindSports.com, which I think does have something to do with the complacency we're seeing in the middle of the NBA season. Middle of NBA season, it's normal for teams to dip. Especially championship teams, especially teams like the Celtics who have played thousands of minutes of basketball with Jaylen Brown and Tatum making the playoffs every year of their career. However, most generally, you have new guys in your lineup. You're trying to work out rotations. You're trying to work out different assignments and find chemistry, and that distracts you from the monotony of it. Celtics brought every single player back. Every one of them. And last year, they were on such autopilot, finding that chemistry, finding the sets, and dominating, that this year they think that it should just be the same. And when it's not, they've got nothing to turn to turn it up and figure out why it's not working. And their leader, Joe Mazzulla, is, let's just embrace it. Losing sucks, but this is the part I love. I really want, you should be excited about this. If you're not excited about losing and figure it out, this is what we're here for. And the kumbaya kind of starting to sound like some corporate trail bullshit. So maybe this Jaron Springer move, getting some guys at the end, this is what he should be doing. Take your guys at the end of the bench and throw them in the middle of the season to shake things up and see what happens. You're losing these games anyway. Fucking shake it up.
He has been shaking it up though, because he did do a whole new rotation, like change your room with Tatum.
Don't defend him.
No, I'm just saying Tatum usually was the first guy to come off. Now Jaylen Brown's the first one coming off. He's losing minutes. Tatum's the one that's staying out there even longer in the first quarter, going into the second quarter. So he is trying to change things up. It just isn't working still.
Because he's
they stopped that too. I think.
Yeah, I know they're going back to it. They're going back to their normal rotation now.
Yeah, I don't want them to change things up with Tatum. Like, no, give that white guy at the end of the bench a run. So you have to play with someone different. You have to think. Give Jaron Springer a run. Like put some more different players on the court, so it's not the same 8 or 9 guys running a 5-man weave to get an open 35-footer for 48 minutes every other night. They get bored. They're 27-year-old bajillionaires. You're gonna get bored out there. Shake it up. Deadline is February 3rd, I think, in the NBA. Beautiful segue here for shaking it up. Will Brad Stevens do anything? The one blemish I think he has in his resume this year, we were calling for front court depth. They didn't get any. Al Horford and Porzingis you just can't rely on them. And Lurch, what's the white guys? The tall white guy, goofy fucking tall. Cornette.
Brian Scalabrine.
He's redhead. Luke Cornette is not good enough. Neemias Quinta is not good enough, and any experience. They needed front court depth. This is from Sports Illustrated. It's a mock trade. Take it for what it's worth. Something like this should happen. Might happen. Probably won't happen. Celtics receive Jacob Pulte and Luke Kennard. The Grizzlies get Drew Holiday and a 2026 second-round pick, and the Raptors get Marcus Smart and a 2025 first-round pick. The details on that don't totally matter. The reason why I think it's important, Celtics get their front court depth. The Luke Kennard kid shoots like 50% from three. He'd be a Joe Mazzulla wet dream. Drew Holiday leaving feels like it sucks on paper, but they can't and won't afford this roster next season. The team's going for sale. They're taking bids now. If John Henry buys it, they're all going to get sold off, so don't worry about that. If someone else buys it, at least one of these guys is gone that's making $30+ million a year. Drew Holiday makes sense because of his age and their duplicity at the position.
He's the worst of the starters.
And he's really sucked this year. So, I don't know. Your thoughts on the trade deadline. Will they do anything? Minor, big, somewhere in between? Should they do anything?
They're not going to do anything. They're going to run it back. They're going to just keep going with it. They're going to say this is just a bump in the road, and you're going to have the core guys here. And come next season or this offseason is when they're going to start chicking it up because of the new ownership, like you're saying.
They won't do anything. I don't think Brad Stevens has the trust that Mazzulla can handle a midseason shakeup like that, so he's not going to do it. They're going to just keep it the same. And the best part about that trade is further dicking over Marcus Smart because he probably doesn't have a passport and would not be able to play in Canada.
That might be true, and I love how it always comes back to Joe Mazzulla. The Jaden Springer kid is gone. He'll be gone for 2 second-round picks. He makes too much money, and they're going to try and shed some payroll. So keep an eye on that. All right, we do have to touch on the Bruins and the Red Sox really quickly, so we'll do that right after this.